Welcome back, everyone, to Digital Growth Live. I am so excited today. We are having Michele on from Green Onion Creative, and we are going to talk all about marketing. It's going to be so much fun. I've been able to get to know Michele for the past couple of months. And we've been collaborating on digital marketing campaigns for some of my clients, and she is awesome. So I'm really excited to have her today. So welcome, my guest, Michele.
Thanks so much, Emily, for letting me be on your show. I have really enjoyed getting to know you, like you said, over the last few months. Emily was a guest on the AMA Milwaukee Riff podcast. Oh, I think we aired that at the beginning of the year. And, sometimes you talk to people and there's an instant connection. And that's exactly what I felt with Emily when she was a guest on that podcast. And then now we're kind of taking this and evolving it into a greater working relationship. And now here I'm your guest.
Yeah, I'm super excited that you're my guest. And just for those who may have not seen Digital Growth Live, really focusing on helping women entrepreneurs be seen and heard in this digital world. I'm super passionate about helping women kind of tap into their superpowers and shine from a digital perspective. And this year I decided I'm going to interview I'm trying to get to 100 women entrepreneurs, right? All different industries, talking to them about their business, what makes them tick, what kind of successes they have, what are some of their struggles, really to just showcase how amazing these women are, and then the diverse skill sets that we are bringing into entrepreneurship. So I usually start my conversation with just learning about our guests. So Michele, tell us a little bit about yourself and Green Onion Creative.
Right. So I started Green Onion Creative in September of 2013. I was that kid who knew back in school that I wanted to be in advertising when I grew up. My auntie was in advertising. She was a media buyer, and that was back in the 80s. So she got to meet Jay Leno and Mr. T. We got to go to hockey games and Disney on Ice and fun adventures, all because of her job. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. So having a passion for writing, I really knew going through high school and into college that I wanted to be a copywriter for an advertising agency. And so my path definitely landed me there. And I worked in-house at a variety of agencies, as well as in-house marketing for companies like Reader's Digest. And so in 2013, I was back in the agency world, and I just wasn't loving it. And so I decided to step away from that. And I had some freelance business going on, and I was like, well, I'm just going to do freelance until I figure out what I really want to do. And that freelance work became more word of mouth work. And then to the point where companies were telling me, hey, you need to get an EIN so we can make you an official contractor. And really, I had to build an identity around this blooming business. And so having worked at Reader's Digest on so many of their food titles for Every Day with Rachel Ray and Betty Crocker and Pillsbury, one thing I learned was that green onions were that little bit of color, flavor, zest that you added to a dish, right? And at that time, I was just a one-woman shop. I couldn't be everything to everyone. So I thought, I was kind of like a green onion. I could add a little flavor, a little color, a new approach to your marketing, but again, not being everything to everyone. So that's where I really started to grow the business. And fortunately, in 2018, end of 2018, one of my biggest clients, who is an international manufacturer, said, we can't figure out how to clone you, so we need you to hire some people. And so I've, over the last few years, been starting to grow the team, and we really focus a lot on content, but we also do graphic design work too. So our layers of expertise just keep growing and growing and growing, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds.
Awesome. I love the organic growth of your business. And I love just how you knew from the get-go, you were like, yeah, I want to be in marketing. I want to be in advertising. Because because I think growing up, I didn't even know really what marketing and advertising was, right? I mean, we're inundated with it from time to time, all the time. But it's the clarity. It is really cool. And I love that because I always was like, how did she get the name Green Onion Creative? So I'm so grateful that you kind of told that story. And I was like, it totally makes sense. Totally
Yeah.
makes sense. So tell me, so your company's kind of focused on content and graphic design. Do you work B2B, B2C? Who's your kind of who you're working with?
So it's funny that you ask that because I was just asked that question this morning. That said, well, who's your ideal client? And I said, anybody who wants to work collaboratively on developing the brand, trying new marketing tactics, understanding that ROI isn't always immediate. Those are the people who are our ideal clients. It's not just that we focus on an industry or B2B or B2C, because we're all over the place, from that mom and pop security shop here in my hometown to we're doing more and more work with municipalities that are trying to build awareness about substance use treatment programs that they're offering to the community, to again these international manufacturers that I'm having weekly conference calls with my marketing counterparts in England and in Paris and in Shanghai, China. We're all over the place, and we're doing a good job because, as you had mentioned about the organic growth, Green Onion has attracted all of the business that we've had over the last almost 9 years through word of mouth, right? Somebody calls or emails and says, I got your name from somebody else. I saw what you did for somebody else. We very rarely ever participate in the RFP process. I say now rarely because we've recently participated in RFP processes, but again, those leads came in via direct email. It wasn't like we were going and circulating out there and trying to find jobs to bid on. So I really take huge pride in the fact that we are doing good work for good people, and they're happy to say good things about us.
That's awesome. I mean, the fact that you've been in business for so long, kudos to you, because to create a business is one thing. That takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength, but to maintain the business and then to grow the business over years is not, I mean, not many people do it, right? So kudos to you for going this route, right? And being here this long. And then from having the organic growth is amazing, and doing most of your marketing through word of mouth marketing.
Mhm.
So that now you know that like what you do is valuable and is so needed. So I geek out on marketing, and we've had conversations like on the side. I'm curious, what do you love most, or what do you like most about marketing? And is there a particular field of marketing that you like just get excited about?
Yeah, I'm a copywriter by nature, right? And I started my professional career as the proofreader and worked my way up and through that whole copywriting, chain. And then as I've gotten into various other roles before starting the agency, I had to develop greater skill set in strategic marketing. And now with Green Onion Creative, again, when it was just me, I had to be everything. I had to be the creative marketer and the strategic marketer. And so 100% content is still my biggest passion. And I really love what we're doing for our clients with regards to SEO and really pulling all the right levers to make sure that your web pages are optimized. Everything from the title tag to the URL, how your image alt tags are labeled, your meta description, opportunities to include internal links and outbound links. It's really super exciting. And even just tapping into the free tools like, what is it? Is it Google Trends, where you can look at various keywords and you can see how they compare to each other over the last 12-month time span. So you can see if you're really plugging in the right messaging in the right places for the people who are looking at it at the right time.
Awesome. So SEO, I have been trying to get my clients to go and look at SEO, but you had said something before that the ROI in marketing and maybe digital marketing is not immediate. And SEO, it is not immediate. I mean, minimum, I say 3-6 months to really start to see the results from SEO. But when you start to see it and you figure out that magic formula for your client, wow, like it's so amazing. So, can you tell me more about like how do you approach that conversation with clients, talking to them A about the importance of SEO and then B about like it's going to take time?
Yeah. So I think having the conversation is such an important part of any type of relationship.
Mhm.
And that's where I say, having developing conversations and that strong relationship is more important than the ROI, because unless we can work together, we're going to be constantly trying to like it's not going to be an effective use of anybody's dollars. So I think the number one thing is to come to the table and be very honest and say, what are your goals and objectives? What does your budget look like? What in your mind does success look like?
Mhm.
Right. And so if it's that they need to revisit and revise their website, maybe because they don't have, maybe it wasn't built correctly, and that an H1 headline is really been created from a more aesthetic pleasing standpoint than versus the actual like the technical side of things,
Mhm.
right? And so to explain to them that the SEO takes time. It's like, well, what are your goals? Are you trying to move your pages higher up on the search engine results page? Okay, then that is going to take some time, and we're going to have to create some good content. We're going to have to make sure that we're plugging it full of the right keywords and making updates so it can maintain a fresh and reliable source of information. We have other partners who join us on client projects where we do SEO campaigns from like a digital search perspective, where we can serve up digital search ads on Google, on Bing, on Yahoo. Don't just think it's Google ads. Bing and Yahoo are key players too, and they can provide you with really good leads that way, so that if somebody sees like your search ad for certain keywords and they click over to your website, we can track those metrics. And through things like even using UTM codes to see where traffic is driving in from your pages, and also using promo codes on your digital communications. That's a great way for you to try to see where the leads are coming in and follow that conversion rate to see if it becomes a qualified sale.
Oh, I love it, love it, love it. So I didn't even know you did SEO. So we're going to talk more after this
Yeah.
conversation because I know how important it is. But again, yeah, some of the clients I work with, they're hesitant to do it. And I'm not an expert, but I know high level, right? But I don't know the nitty gritty. So I think sometimes it's great to have those conversations from a high level and then the nitty gritty. And what you said, most importantly for me, is what's your goal and what's your metrics of success, right? And then figure out what's the strategy behind it to get to that specific goal. So I love it. And I'm curious, like when you're talking about SEO, I know there is a range from a budget perspective, but what should clients think about if they're like starting out their business versus like kind of mid-range in their business from an SEO perspective? If you could just arrange,
Yeah.
if you could even do that.
Yeah, so it really all comes down to understanding what your keywords are,
Mhm.
and it's like the bidding on those keywords. How competitive are certain words and phrases that everybody wants them, right? Versus this is very niche to you, and maybe there's not so many people bidding on them, so then like the cost would be a little would be at a different price point.
Yeah.
I honestly encourage anybody to talk to other people and find out what others are thinking of as their keywords, right? We can't just live in this little marketing bubble that we know everything, right? Because we create the marketing messages, so therefore these should be the keywords. Talk to the people who are actually looking to use your products and services and find out what they're typing into Google and Bing and Yahoo. or go into Google, Bing, and Yahoo yourself and start typing in words. You'll see it starts serving you up key phrases of what other people have searched. And at the bottom of the page, it also tells you, like, you may also want to look at these things. Those are all great ways to very inexpensively, but basically free, to find out what are the topics. Use that Google Trends where you can compare different keywords to one another. And if you have Google Analytics set up for your website, go and look into the Google Search Console and see what keywords are being served up from an organic search standpoint. You have a lot of knowledge and data at your fingertips. And a lot of people don't even realize it, or they don't know how to retrieve it and then use it.
Yeah. And that's why they go to experts like you, and you make it easy for them, right? You do all the background work, and then you look at the analytics, and then based on your knowledge and your expertise, you can serve up the great strategy that works with it.
So one of the things that I always tell our clients is, as a small business owner who has to self-fund everything, I 100% appreciate and respect budgets, and I hate it when we go over. Sometimes projects take a wonky shift, right? And we end up spending more than originally planned. But whenever possible, I try to let clients know that there are free levers that they can pull. They can pull them on their own. If they want us to help them pull, that may come with a cost as associated with it, because I too have a business to run. And that time and knowledge, is of value across the board. But by all means, I'm not looking to snatch up everybody's spare dollars that they have. So you'd be amazed at what you can find by doing some YouTube videos.
Yeah. And there's a lot of information out there, but what I find, working with the clients, is that it can be very overwhelming if you don't know what you're looking for, right? Like, you can look up SEO and it can take you in so many different directions. Like you were saying, it could be a long-term keyword, it could be a short-term keyword, it could be a negative keyword, so there's so much that people just get overwhelmed. But like I said, I think what you said is really important too. Education. I tell my clients this all the time, like, here's what we want to do, but educate yourself. Go online, watch a couple of YouTube videos, or go on Google, find a couple of videos that talk about that specific subject. So when you're looking for a consultant or you're looking for an agency to do that work for you, you could be better prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where, from a marketing standpoint, dear Lord, it's they want, marketers need to be a jack of all trade, but unfortunately you become a master of none. And so we understand that our clients aren't masters in every area. That's why they come to us. But we're not masters in every area either. That's why we have good allied partners, right? And these strong vendor relationships that we establish, so that if there's something that is not in our wheelhouse, we're not wasting your time and your budget dollars, but we're going to connect you with somebody who is maybe more prepared from a technology standpoint, from a team building standpoint, because they have more resources. And you want somebody who's going to be honest with you and say, no, or I don't know, but let's try to figure it out together. It goes back to that relationship building. And that's where I find the ROI in your marketing efforts.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's so important. And from my perspective, like, I work with clients across the board in so many different industries, and I do the same thing. Hey, I'm not an expert in this specific area, but that's what I utilize LinkedIn to create relationships with people like you and other people who are experts. And like, I vet people, and I'm like, okay, they know what they're talking about, so I can trust my client working with them. And you create relationships, because at the end of the day, like, for me, and I know you too, because we work together, we just want the best for our clients, right? We just want to see them successful. And as a small business owner, you talked about, like, yeah, I'm putting in this money for my own marketing. So when I work with my clients, I also make sure that every penny that we put in is going to have a return on investment. May not be right away, but you're going to see it.
Right. So, exactly. And I know we all want that, like, instant gratification. right? It's the same thing like when we put out a social media post. We want to know how many people are liking it, how many people are sharing it, how many people are, commenting on it. Well, the same kind of holds true whether you're putting out a digital ad, on the various, web browsers, or you're sending out a direct mail postcard, or you put up a billboard. You put out these efforts, and you're like, I want everybody to see this, and I want to know how it's going to perform. Well, well, the old rule, and it's probably still the same true rule today, is you had to hit somebody on the head with the same message 7 times before they even realize that the message is out there, right? You got to tell them what you're going to tell them it, and then tell them what you told them, right? You just repeating. And so that repetition also takes a little bit of patience.
Yeah, and with COVID, I've heard all different numbers, right? So when I started marketing, it was a 7 to 12 rule, right? 7 to 12 touches, and now I've heard anywhere from 20 to 30 touches.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it, because we're just so inundated with
Inundated.
like these devices, and I mean your email, everywhere you go, the messages is around you. And so I think part of that is I'm actually seeing, I feel like a lot of the marketing that I'm seeing is becoming muddled, because people are going for the same like look and tone and photography and filters, that everything is just kind of feeling like it's all blending together. And I'd love to see a resurgence of just uniqueness, because I feel like with social media and our ability to, put on these filters, that we're all choosing the same few filters. And so now I'm starting to lose sight of like, whose message is this?
Yeah, and that's one thing. So I started doing these master classes and creating some group programs to help women entrepreneurs get comfortable on video, right? So doing video marketing. And that's one of the things I talk about, is that there's so many different marketing messages out there. So what makes you unique is being authentic, right? And having conversations and having these short videos, 60 seconds, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, but really like connecting on a human level. And I think that's where marketing, like you were saying, the messages are all getting muddled. But when you do it really from your authentic perspective, then you start to stand out from the crowd. And I think
Right.
that's what we really start to need more and more.
Exactly. And it's that authenticity. That authenticity is what has sent TikTok booming,
Yeah.
right? It's the platform of being authentic, versus the Snapchat and Instagram, right? It's more of like, that
The
pretty,
glam look.
yeah, and TikTok is like, here I am in my bathrobe with my cup of coffee, like, and it's another day, right? And I just don't feel that same amount of authenticity is coming through today in Instagram, and in Snapchat. And I would love to see it get back to that place of just being a little bit more raw, a little bit more vulnerable, a little bit more honest.
Yeah. Yeah. And people are surprised, but when you are raw and vulnerable, like that's when people start clicking, and that's when people start watching. Because we miss it, right?
Yeah.
That's what we miss. So, oh, what an awesome conversation. So anything else you want to chat or talk about from your business perspective?
Oh, I am just really, I'm just incredibly grateful for my team. I really am. I can say that this is my business, and I've been running it for the last 9 years. But it wasn't until I was able to add on my employees and continue to build my subcontractor base that I've really seen great success. And I know it's super hard, and I still struggle with it every day to like loosen up some of the reins and like let things go and let other people take ownership and responsibility, because it is my baby. But I can't be everything to everyone, and I need to work more on the business versus in the business, and I have to put trust in the people that I choose to work with. And you know what? They haven't steered me wrong. I haven't lost one single client because of our quality of work. Any clients that we have lost along the way, it's because we were a bridge strategy and they had to hire somebody internally, or maybe the company shut down, or it was acquired somewhere else. That's never been a result of our performance. And so I really just cannot thank my employees and my subcontractors enough. Nikki, Emery, Eric, Mike, Jamie, other Mike, like, you guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you are a solopreneur or a small business, really look at all the work that you're doing and know that it's okay to hand work over to other people. And without them, there really wouldn't be much to me to be able to be there for our clients. So I just want to say that I'm so grateful for my team.
That's beautiful. And that's one of the first conversations we had talking about scaling as an entrepreneur. And I've been hearing more and more from a welcoming perspective. And that's something like when you start as an entrepreneur, you don't really hear about, and you're taking on so many different things: sales, marketing, operation, finance. You're like, how do I get it all done? And if you start building a team, then you're able to kind of grow. And like you said, you're focusing on your business, but not really in the business.
Yep.
And if you wanted to jump back in, you can, right? But
Yeah.
you have the support system that's going to allow you to really do whatever you want, which is awesome.
Yes, it really is. It's a great feeling. And and I love the fact that our clients develop strong relationships with my team members as well. Like, I don't have to micromanage. I don't need to be included on every single email. I don't need to be included on every single meeting. If obviously, bigger things like I want to be involved in, because I am doing the project management as the owner, right? And I'm maintaining these relationships. But when you can just empower and trust your employees, we're all coming to work every day, whether it's off of our couch or in an office building. We want to be professional, but at the end of the day too, we're all people, right? And we want to be respected, and we want to know that, like, we're trusted. We're not just robots out here just pulling marketing levers, right? And so I want my team to know that I value their opinions, and I don't want to have a bobblehead that goes, "Oh yeah, this sounds great. That looks great." No, it doesn't. It looks like crap. It's a horrible idea. I want them to tell me. I want them to push back. I want them to have their personality shine. And I love that, again, goes back to what I said at the very beginning. It's all about making these connections and establishing these relationships. And if you can't do that, I don't know how great a success you're going to have. But if you can really see the power of the relationships within your team, with your client, amongst your employees, that's where you're going to see your success.
So refreshing to hear you say that. And that's what I love, working with women entrepreneurs and having these conversations, because these are the conversations that are being discussed on my show, right? How to do business differently, because that's typically, well, at least from the past where I've seen business done, that's not how they operate, right? But it's really refreshing to hear you say that. And a lot of key points that you said, I've been jotting down. So thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, if people want to get in contact with you, how do they do that? Any like kind of offerings that you guys are doing or coming down the pipe the next couple months?
So by all means, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. And so just type in Michele, Michele. Last name is Tonkovitz, Tonkov as in Victor, Itz as in zebra. Or you could just Google Michele at Green Onion Creative. That's our website too, greenonioncreative.com. So you feel free to connect with me all those different ways. And then, for things that we have coming down the pipeline, I don't want my Calendly to like explode, but I love to have conversations, right? So it's like my reoccurring theme here is that I just want to connect with people. And so if anybody is interested in, just trying to figure out what are some game changers, connect with me. We can have a call. We can have a quick meeting. Tell me what your business is, and I'll let you know. Like, we'll just do a little free consult to say, I'm not saying that we're necessarily going to drum up business for us, but if, if you're like, hey, have you, what do you guys think of, I don't know, using Twitter, or, okay, here's another good one, like Canva. A lot more people are using Canva. We have clients who are requesting Canva. So if you're not sure about, like, is Canva the right resource for you, reach out to me. I'm not going to sell you Canva services. I'm just going to talk to you and find out if Canva is the right resource for you, right? I love the networking and building the connections. And so, that's really my offer to you is connect with me and let's see if we can get a conversation going. I also am the co-host of the AMA Rift podcast, and we're always looking for new podcast guests too. So if any of you in the marketing field are looking to share some great stories, maybe you have offers, maybe you are on the speaker circuit or want to get onto a speaker circuit, let me know, because we're always looking for guests and presenters for our professional organization.
Awesome. I think I have someone in mind for you. So
yeah.
afterwards, I'll let you know too. Awesome. So thank you so much for talking about your business and what's going on with you and what you have in the pipe. I always like to ask questions around mind, body, soul, right?
Yes.
And see, like, especially from you, because you have been in business for seven years, a little bit over.
Almost nine.
Yeah. And I know business has its ups and downs. Like, there could be really great days, but there could be really, like, what the WTF days, right? So what do you do to keep yourself, like, sane, and what do you do to keep, like, what brings you pleasure throughout the day?
I think that I crave movement. I do. So even long before Green Onion Creative, I started teaching fitness classes twice a week through my local rec department. So because of COVID, the last 2 years I've been teaching virtually. So my spare bedroom is my at-home fitness center. So I find that when I'm just sitting here at my computer all day, I crave movement. So I have a black lab named Tubbs who I walk, who's gonna want to go for a walk after this. So I love to get out with him a couple of times a day. I listen to podcasts. I try to listen to podcasts that I actually listen to a lot of reality TV podcasts, but there's a lot of good messages in there that talk about, like books like The Secret and, like the importance of manifestation. And so I have my little mantras that I say to myself. I love going to hot yoga. I'm going to go tonight. And when I'm sitting there as I'm getting ready for class, I like to clear my mind. I like to, think about, like, for example, manifestation. I have a goal number for what I want for billings to be this year. I had a goal number for billings for last year. I envisioned that number. I envisioned it. And guess what? I made it happen. And so now I've increased that number for billings. And I want to make that happen. I have a vision board that has the things that I want, not only from a personal perspective, but for my business perspective, right? Because we have two different channels in our lives. And so why do you have to only focus on one? Why can't you have multiple vision boards to be successful and know what your goals are in all these different places? And, like, my new goal is in 2 years from now, when my niece turns 18, I want to take her to Costa Rica so we can do a vegetarian yoga resort, like, for a week and get real zen with it before she goes off to college. And I'll be and I'll be celebrating my 45th birthday then, so that'll be my treat to myself. So those are some of the things that I do to just kind of keep it all together.
I knew we had a lot of similarities, but I was like, yes. I love that. Because that's, like, I have my vision board, and I actually put it in, like, different quadrants, like travel, business, relationship, money, and then, like, so I have it all different places. And definitely I have mantras all over my house. In every single room, I have, like, a little postcard with a different mantra for myself.
Love it.
Even here, I have, like, my daily planner. So every day I do, like, my gratitudes, and I do, like, fun little stickers, and I just, like, write down stuff like that. So we're very similar.
And you know what? I'm telling you, if you're on the fence about it or you think it's a bunch of hocus pocus, open up your heart, open up your mind, give it a try. Really do, because you'll be surprised. I had a brand new car on my vision board, and it was awesome to get that brand new car. And I use push pins to put my ideas on my vision board because those visions are meant to come off. And when I achieve them, I take out the push pin, I pull it off, and I put it in a folder. And I go back and I look at that folder. I don't know, once every quarter or once a year, and it's crazy to see like how many things you once wanted to have happen that became a reality. And that's a nice and humble reminder, right? Of like, man, my grandpa used to say, plan the work and work the plan.
I
Do
love
it.
it.
Try
Yeah.
it.
Say that one more time because I think that's a perfect way to end.
Okay. As grandpa said, plan the work and work the plan.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, that's it. So it was such a great time with you, chatting about your business, learning a little bit about you, what like keeps you going, what has motivated you like personally, but also from your business perspective. So thank you so much for coming on today and sharing a lot of great knowledge about marketing. I was definitely taking notes. I was like, okay, yeah, okay.
No, I really hope that you, Emily, and your listeners, or viewers, I guess, since we're in a video platform, did find some nuggets today. And like I said, I would really love to connect with you, just to, even if you just want to know like some additional books to listen to, or I like audiobooks too, because again, when I'm walking the dog, it's a chance for me to kind of disconnect from like devices, but still get some great ideas in my head. So please connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can email me. It's Michele with one L at greenonioncreative.com. And I hope I get to meet some of you soon.
Yeah, awesome. So again, thank you so much to my audience for watching Digital Growth Live. I may have taken a small break in terms of having my individuals on my platform because I've been super busy, but we're going to get right back on it. We're going to have a lot of great guests coming up. Michele, it was great having you on, and everyone have a fabulous day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.